White opens with the English opening, aiming for dynamic balance. A slight inaccuracy occurred, dropping minor value. Black responds symmetrically. A minor inaccuracy by Black allowed White to slightly increase their advantage. White fianchettos the bishop. This move, while solid, also represented a minor inaccuracy. Black mirrors White's fianchetto. This move, while solid, also represented a minor inaccuracy. White develops the bishop to the long diagonal, maintaining their positional edge. Black develops their bishop to the fianchettoed square, solidifying their position. White develops a knight. This move was a slight inaccuracy, slightly diminishing White's advantage. Black castles kingside, prioritizing king's safety. A solid and accurate move. White pushes the central pawn, seizing space and maintaining a slight advantage. Black supports their central pawn. A solid move that maintains the current balance. White develops another knight, a solid move that consolidates their advantage. Black develops their knight to a good central square. A solid move. White advances the d-pawn, increasing central control. A solid positional move. Black maneuvers their knight to the rim. A solid, albeit passive, move. White moves the knight to a seemingly passive square. This was a mistake, significantly reducing White's advantage. Black pushes a flank pawn. This move was a mistake, allowing White to regain some advantage. White centralizes the queen. A solid move that improves piece coordination. Black prepares pawn expansion on the queenside. A solid positional maneuver. White castles, securing their king and connecting rooks. A standard development move. Black moves a rook to the semi-open file. A solid, active choice. White advances a flank pawn. This move was a mistake, giving away positional initiative. Black centralizes their queen. A solid move that enhances their queenside play. White repositions a rook to the central file. A slight inaccuracy that disturbs the structure. Black develops their bishop. This move was a mistake, neglecting central control. White centralizes a knight. A slight inaccuracy, but it aims for active piece play. Black exchanges knights. A solid move that simplifies the position. White recaptures with the knight. A slight inaccuracy, potentially overextending. Black activates a rook. This move was a mistake, allowing White to solidify their advantage. White strengthens their queenside pawn structure. A solid move for structural integrity. Black advances a flank pawn, challenging White's structure. A solid counter-play move. White initiates a pawn push on the kingside. A solid aggressive move. Black repositions the bishop. This move was a mistake, creating weaknesses. White advances the h-pawn, gaining space. A solid continuation of the kingside attack. Black solidifies their central pawn structure. A solid defensive move. White pushes the h-pawn further. A solid move to gain more space. Black retreats the bishop. This was a mistake, sacrificing positional soundness. White activates a rook. This move was a mistake, slightly disrupting their own position. Black pushes a central pawn, opening lines. A solid, dynamic move. White reinforces their pawn structure. A solid move to maintain control. Black maneuvers a knight. A slight inaccuracy, but it improves piece placement. White advances the g-pawn aggressively. A solid move to press the attack. Black exchanges bishops. A solid positional decision, simplifying into a more manageable structure. White recaptures with the queen. A slight inaccuracy, as it potentially exposes the queen. Black develops the bishop. This was a mistake, weakening their kingside defense. White pushes the g-pawn, opening lines for attack. A solid, decisive move. Black consolidates their pieces. A solid move to improve piece coordination. White activates the bishop. A slight inaccuracy, potentially allowing counterplay. Black centralizes the rook. A solid move to improve rook activity. White maneuvers the king. A solid prophylactic move to improve king safety. Black advances a pawn. A slight inaccuracy, potentially creating pawn weaknesses. White captures the pawn. A solid move that breaks through the pawn structure. Black recaptures with the bishop. A solid move, maintaining central presence. White repositions the rook. This move was a mistake, losing positional advantage. Black advances a flank pawn. A solid move to gain queenside space. White advances another flank pawn. This move was a mistake, weakening their own structure. Black advances a flank pawn. A slight inaccuracy, creating space but potential weaknesses. White develops the bishop. A slight inaccuracy, not actively contributing to the position. Black repositions the knight. A solid move to improve defensive coverage. White centralizes the rook. A solid move to activate the rook on the central file. Black repositions the king. A solid move for king safety. White moves the rook to the central file. A solid move to increase pressure. Black centralizes the queen. A solid move to improve queen activity. White repositions the bishop. A solid move, aiming to improve its diagonal. Black maneuvers the knight. A solid move to improve piece coordination. White advances the rook. A solid move, increasing pressure on the flank. Black repositions the knight. A solid move to reinforce the defense. White maneuvers the king to safety. A solid move to improve king safety. Black repositions the king. A solid move for king safety. White moves the king again. A solid move to find a safer square. Black repositions the king. A solid move for king safety. White repositions the king to the center. A solid move to centralize. Black moves a rook. A solid move to activate rook play. White repositions the king. A solid move to centralize. Black repositions the rook. A solid move to improve rook placement. White doubles rooks. A solid move to increase pressure on the file. Black moves the rook. This was a mistake, allowing white to press the attack. White activates the rook. A solid move to join the attack. Black repositions the rook. A solid defensive maneuver. White advances a pawn. A solid move to open lines for attack. Black captures a pawn. This was a severe blunder, drastically worsening their position. White recaptures with the queen. A solid move that consolidates their advantage. Black recaptures with the rook. This was a mistake, losing significant material advantage. White recaptures with the rook. This was a severe blunder, losing a large portion of their advantage. Black moves the rook. This was a severe blunder, gifting white overwhelming material advantage. White doubles rooks on the central file. A solid move to maximize pressure. Black repositions the bishop. A solid move, aiming to improve its defensive scope.